Shame on me. Shame. Shame.
Yeah.
Shame. 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 Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whoever and wherever you are. This is Lee, and we're on the game of tongues right now, and we are talking to my mate, Tyler. Say hello, Tyler.
Good morning, everybody.
And Tyler is a Texan, and he used to stutter around half his words. He got headaches, tight neck, throat problems. He had real problems with groups and meetings and names and strangers and phones. Sounds so familiar to most people who are listening to this. And he'd been working on it with me since around February, not every week or anything like that, maybe more like monthly than weekly, but um, we have had, and he has made tremendous progress. And I just asked him, we hadn't talked now in 2 months, yikes. And he just told me that he has not had a bad incident in the past 2 months. Is that true, Tyler?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That is
Now,
true.
can you tell us what have you done since you met me that and read my book and so forth? What have you done that's changed your speech? Because I didn't change it. You did.
Right. Well, reading out loud, I think, is the most important thing for me. And like we had spoken about a few minutes earlier, when I started to insert full stops, I found that that's when my speech improved the very most.
When you started inserting what?
Full stops.
Full stops. Most important. Okay. That's great to know. Great to hear. It makes total sense.
Basically, I think whenever I just told myself that I could slow everything down and I didn't have to speak so fast and I didn't have to get all my thoughts out in a single breath,
Right.
you know, that's where I saw like the very most improvement.
Boy, that's Crutch 11. Crutch 11. The core of Crutch 11 is talking less under pressure, not talking, not stopping, but just talking less. And it's talking slower, softer. And full stops is absolutely critical. And that, when you do that, you could talk for an hour in front of a microphone. If you put in a full stop every 1 to 10 words, let's say in your case,
Yeah.
I say 1 to 7 to most people, but I'd go 1 to 7, 10 with you. Um, you're not going to get hung up because
No,
every time you stop talking, you're totally relaxed. Your blood, and when you talk slowly, your blood pressure goes down.
exactly right. Yes.
If you talk a little bit softly, you've got a nice deep baritone bass kind of voice. You got
Hmm.
a very, you have a you have a beautiful speaking voice. Seriously, you really do. I mean, you could be an anchor like that on radio or TV or something with your
Well,
voice.
thank you very much, Lee.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. You're either born with that or you're not. I'm not. But your speech can be, you can be an exemplar. You can be a model speaker.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You can set the standard. Crutch number 11, speak like a king. Which, what is it? Softly, slowly, extreme pronunciation, enthusiasm, smile, and
Yeah.
full stops. That's it. That's what, to me, this is how you go from where you are now, fluent and good, to outstanding speaker. You're just
Right.
you're past the I'm gonna stutter, I'm disabled. You're past that. Now you're working on how can you be the best speaker in your group, far and wide with that. And again, you've got a huge advantage over most people with that voice. You do. So use
Mm.
it. Use it. Turn this lemon into the most incredible lemonade business in your area. You know, I mean,
Absolutely.
you can
Yeah.
do it. You're this close. And I hope that you'll come to this beach club because look, they're all your people. and they all understand. You understand them, and they understand you. And there's some beautiful speakers there.
Yeah.
And the same people don't come every week. A lot of the same people come every week, but there's quite a bit of changing of the guard too. People breeze in and breeze out. Some come late, leave early, whatever. But most people come around on time and stay to the end. Most people do. And you don't have to say anything, or you can ask a question, or make a comment, or write a chat uh, about that to the group
Yeah.
or to the host. I host them right now. I'm not the speaker. We have different speakers, and it's usually somebody like you that's
Hmm.
speaking, who's telling his story or her story. And it's fun. And we all help each other improve our speech. But what I was going to say to you today is Crutch 11 is really where you, in my opinion, where you really want to focus. You're doing Crutch 13 already a good bit of the time. But Crutch 11 is where you guarantee yourself in your difficult situations. You go into those pressured situations thinking Crutch 13. It's foremost in your mind. I will speak. Say after me. I will speak softly.
I will speak softly.
I will speak slowly.
I will speak slowly.
I will use extreme pronunciation.
I will use extreme pronunciation.
I will be enthusiastic when I speak.
I will be enthusiastic when I speak.
And I will smile the entire time I speak.
And I will smile the entire time that I speak.
And I will insert full stops every 1 to 10 words or so.
And I will insert full stops every 1 to 10 words or so.
It doesn't matter where I stop.
It doesn't matter where I stop.
I can stop anywhere.
I can stop anywhere.
Perfect.
Now
That's
that felt pretty good.
that's
Yeah.
Crutch 11. That's speaking like a king, and you are the man to do it.
Yeah, I feel like, that's probably like the right crutch for me.
Yeah. What would you like to tell the PWS out there who are back where you were in January and before? What would you like to tell them?
Well, I think the main thing is that if you focus on anything and if you work hard at it, your speech can improve. That it's not something that you're stuck with. Um, and the main thing is, stop trying to speak perfectly every time.
Right.
Because I think one of my main problems, like we talked about a few minutes ago, was um, I was making small mistakes and I was extremely hard on myself. And that kind of made those small mistakes into very big mistakes.
Exactly.
And once I stopped being so hard on myself, my
Yeah.
speech improved a vast amount.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
I think that was one of the main problems that I had. You
Yeah.
know, so as long as you're able to get your thoughts out and you're not thinking about words, um, your mind's, I mean, your mouth and your mind, if you trust it, it's going to be able to say the words. So it's when you focus on words and when you try to plan words, that's when you'll get in trouble.
Exactly. You can really measure like your if you had a speech barometer, like measures the weather, or just measured your speech, You could tell where you are in your speech by the number of time, the amount of time you, or the number of words or percentage of words that you think about before you say them.
Yeah.
You want it to be zero. If you're giving a speech, it's a whole nother story. You write it out in advance, you practice it in front of a mirror, maybe you memorize it, whole nother world. Conversation, we do not think words before we say them. We just don't do it.
Yeah.
And we'll never choose perfect words, but we will be more than understood. And in your case, in everyone's case, when you speak, you have your own aura. Karma, maybe, but aura, it's like there's an envelope around you. You're a presence. And what are you? Well, when you speak softly and slowly, your blood pressure goes down, and so does the listener's.
Mm-hmm.
Then you enunciate your syllables clearly. You do not drop your endings. Then you inject positive emotion, enthusiasm into every word you say.
Yep.
Then you smile while you do it. You send an endorphin message to every one of your 30 trillion cells from the top of your head to the tip of your toe. And the same feeling is released, and the listeners are affected in a positive way by it. They immediately are more open to you. They're less afraid of you. They're welcoming you. They're liking you more. They're listening better. They're remembering more. They're accepting more of what you say. And then you use full stops, which gives you and your listeners breaks, opportunities to reflect upon what you said and to remember what you said and to accept what you said. You've done a lot more than overcome a stutter. You've changed your karma.
Yeah.
So, and the more you practice Crutch 11, I have a lot of people with different parts of that crutch, and I ask them to write down. Here's the phone. I ask them to write down in capital letters on their phone. In your case, it would be what I wrote here: slowly, pronunciation, enthusiasm, smile, and stops. So they carry the phone around. At least I do. And if I'm talking, I can't help but looking at what's written on the back. I put the same notes on my computer. I mean, I don't need them, but the point is, if I'm you, I'm doing this until
Yeah.
it is second nature to me, and it's a switch I can flip anytime, and I'm going to keep it on most of the time because it's just good habit, and it will make me communicate better with everybody, no exceptions. You're going to be viewed as almost a different species in a positive way.
Yeah.
And you toss that baritone basso voice of yours in there, and you got a killer combination.
Yeah.
They're going to be asking you to be the speaker. Will you do the introductions? Will you open the meeting? Will you close the meeting? Will you, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Because you're going to make everybody feel good when you speak. And yes, you'll make a mistake sometimes and force a word on a case. Who cares?
Yeah.
No one. You're just a human like the rest of us.
Yeah.
You may look special or sound special, but you're just like the rest of us for the most part.
That's absolutely right. Yeah.
So, but I'm loving it. I'm loving the way. I'm loving where you've been, where you are, and where you're going. And stay on the program. Stay on it. I mean, I still read aloud. I don't read aloud for my speech.
Hmm.
I read aloud because I enjoy it. I get lots of opportunity to practice speaking because I coach. 7 days a week I coach. 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours, 7 hours every day. So I have lots of time to practice my speech. I'm not practicing it. I'm just speaking. But reading aloud, I love to do. It's so much fun. And someday, if you have kids, you want to read to them aloud when they're little, when they're real little, when they're babies, right
Yeah.
on up. You want to read to them and teach them how to read way before they go to school. I've gotten so many guys and girls into reading to their kids, and they love it.
Yeah.
It's been a wonderful thing. But if there's anybody, you might even want, I don't know, do you like to read books much yourself? I mean,
Yes.
just generally?
Yes, I do. Yep.
What kind of things do you read usually?
I like to read self improvement books. I like to read. There's a few different things that I read. For example, I read all of like the Jason Bourne books.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's good. My
That's
wife
something that
read
I
his
like to get
stuff.
into. I read most of like the Tom Clancy
Okay, good for you.
stuff.
Did you
So
read Dan Brown?
I do read Dan Brown.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Did you read Shantaram by David Gregory Roberts? Did you read that?
I have not. No.
Write that down. Write that
Okay.
down. S
All right.
H A N T Shant
Shant. Okay.
Aram. It means it
ARAM.
means man of peace in Hindi, and it's an incredible book. You will love this book to death. It was a bestseller probably 10 years ago for a
Okay.
long time. And it's largely a true story. It's largely autobiographical.
Yeah.
It's, it's about a
Okay.
guy who was into drugs and he escaped from prison and a couple of times
A
and
couple of times. Oh wow.
and and became a man of peace. He
Yeah.
fled to India and became a man of peace. He was Australian. He
Uh-huh.
fled to India without a passport or anything else. This is not recently. This is some time ago. And
Yeah.
about his life in India. And of
Oh
course, I
wow.
deal with many Indians. I would say at least a third of my PWS are Indians. Isn't that
Yeah.
something? Well, they amount to
Very-
about, what do they amount to? 20% of the population, but I have almost twice that as a
Oh wow.
ratio. But in any event, you will love this book. And be sure when you finish it, write me an email. And I know you're going to write me. You're going to love the book. I know you will.
Yeah.
Because I've never recommended it to anybody who didn't love it. No one. No,
Okay. Yeah, that
regardless of
sounds
age.
good for sure.
So that's really great. There's one other. You said you like self-help books.
Yes, I
People,
do.
I've read a book. I made it when I got to be in my out of school. When I got out of law school, I realized that I just I didn't I hadn't tried hard enough in school, and I felt very ignorant, even though I'd been to a lot of schools and I had a bachelor's and a law degree and so forth. So I decided to read a book a week, and I did it for almost 50 years.
Oh wow.
I didn't quit doing it until I started writing. I started
Mhm.
writing about 6 7 years ago, and I've written 4 books, and since then, and the one book 3 times, so I've written 7 in that sense. But people used to ask me what's your favorite book, and I don't know that I have a favorite, but I would say I have many favorites. But I would say that the book that helped me more than any other book is about 130 or so pages, written by Dale Carnegie, called How to Win Friends and Influence People. Have you read it?
Yes, I have. Yep.
Is that a
That's
great book or
famous.
what?
Yeah.
I've read that book, a half dozen times. I paid my grandchildren to read it, and I just love it to death. Look, I got to go because I got another call. But
Okay.
on your success story, do you want to write it? Do you want me to try? Tell me what you want to do.
No, I can send you something like in an email, and
Sure.
then
Perfect. Perfect.
if you want to look it over, you know.
Perfect. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm not going to rewrite it, but if I see anything in your emails or notes that would help it, I'll put it in there, and then you can
Sure.
take it out if you don't like it.
Absolutely.
So otherwise, when do I want to see you again? You want to talk again in a month, or do you want to talk again in 2 weeks? What do you want to do?
We can do maybe, let's say about a month.
Okay,
Like,
let me pull this up and put that on the calendar. Okay, I made a note though that you owe me a draft of a success story. So
okay.
if you don't deliver it, I could be waiting for you in the parking lot hiding behind your car, with my broom.
Yeah.
No, listen, it's good for you. It's good for other people because you want to give other people help. And it helps me because that's how I get paid.
Absolutely. I will send you something very soon, Lee.
Okay, listen, Tyler, have a great time. I hope to see you on Saturday, or this Saturday, or every Saturday, or whenever Saturdays you want to come at 9 a.m. New York City time,
Alrighty.
and we'll chat. And otherwise, I'll see you in a month.
All right, man. That sounds good.
Take care, buddy.
Okay, we'll see you.
Bye bye.